kudos to him.
All right. So who did you have for your defensive player this week?
So my
I know
defensive
you're
player,
gonna steal my answer. I promise you're gonna steal my answer. And it's gonna make me
my
mad.
defensive player of the week is the New England Patriots defense.
All right, welcome back, y'all. Welcome back. Welcome back to another show. Me and my co-host Dre here with another show. We're gonna just dive right into it this week. None of the small talk. Well, actually, before we dive right into it, I hate when people do this, but I'll do it anyway. Hey, like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Subscribe to Dre as well. Link will be in the description. But like I was saying, we'll dive right into it, this week. Starting off with the Sunday night game. Ravens, Chiefs. What's your thoughts on that game right there?
So it went a little bit differently than what I thought. Not necessarily. Yes, Lamar's never beaten, Mahomes and the Chiefs before, but it's in the way that two early turnovers did not bury the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
I thought those two early turnovers and the Chiefs, going down the field, well, one of them was a pick six, but I thought that was going to bury the Ravens. But I mean, give them credit. They stuck through. They went, came back. Granted, they did pick off Mahomes early in the game, but also, that LSU Tiger, that running back for the Chiefs. Without him, they might win that game. They were in field goal range, so who knows? But I mean, hey, it was a great game. Kudos to Lamar. Kudos to the Ravens. A lot of people did not pick them to win that game. I didn't pick them to win that game. So it's
I honestly can't remember anyone that picked them. Oh wait, I can. I picked them to win that game. But no, honestly, that game did surprise me because once they threw those, Lamar had those early interceptions. The Ravens aren't a team that's built to come from behind. They need to run the ball, get ahead of the change, take a lead, play defense, and things like that. So Lamar showed me a lot that obviously he can play from a deficit, and that's against probably the best offense in the league. So to come back, on the Chiefs, even though the game was never out of hand, but still to throw those two early turnovers, giving the Chiefs that leeway. The pick six to start the game to LSU Tiger, craziness. But yeah, Lamar showed me a lot. Obviously, first win against Pat Mahomes against the Chiefs. That's been his kryptonite. So congrats to him on that.
But it's crazy though. Watching that game, one thing kept popping into my mind. I said that if from here forward, whether it be in the draft or free agency, whatever, because I know money's tight for them, but if the Chiefs don't do something with their defense, Mahomes is pretty much going to have a career kind of like Peyton Manning's Indy career, where it's like you've got this great offense, you've got this great quarterback, but you have to do so much and you have to play mistake free because you can't necessarily rely on your defense. And that Chiefs defense, like I said last week, I think that was my only negative I had for them going into the game. If they don't do something about that defense, that's going to be their downfall because the offense is going to bring it every week. But, every now and then offenses, they have bad games and you need your defense to bring it up. And I don't see the Chiefs defense doing that at all.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's the same thing that happened to Drew Brees, in his career, throwing for 5,000 yards, 40 touchdowns, just to go 7-9 because the defense couldn't stop a soul. So, yeah, they're definitely going to have to get that corrected from the Chiefs standpoint, but that offense is still good enough to take them to 10 to 12 wins a year, minimum at this point. So now we're going to get to the good stuff, a.k.a. that's being sarcastic, by the way, the taunting rule in the NFL. Week one, it was a couple penalties. Wasn't anything crazy. I still was like, why are they calling that? But seemed like, I don't know who made the call, but somebody made the call to the refs and was like, hey, what we told y'all about those taunting penalties. It was like legit one every drive this weekend.
They ramped it up. And it was, to me, I think the biggest game that it really took place in was the Cowboys Chargers game, because you had the Keenan Allen taunting penalty. Now, granted, and y'all know I'm not a Cowboys fan at all, can't stand them, whatever. But in this one instance, Keenan Allen was wrong. Like, you can't, if they were both in the same area, do what you want. But when the person is walking away, you can't go after them and continue jabbing. So that one I get. On the Cook touchdown, now I feel like the refs kind of finagled this a little bit because at first the play was going as normal as possible. Cook catches a touchdown, and then he spins the ball and he gets, I forgot which DB was there. It might have been Lewis. But he gets like all up in his face, does the whole little cooking thing and all that kind of stuff. But then they ended up calling it back and they said that it was an illegal shift on the offense and everything. And usually they don't, usually they see that early and they don't let the play go. So I felt like they wanted to call taunting because they initially did, but then they reverted back and they said, oh no, it's actually this, because technically if they had called it taunting, they would have had to have the touchdown stand, and then the taunting penalty would have reverted on the kick, not the kickoff, but the point after and stuff like that. But that really turned the tide of that game. Like the Chargers would have been in the lead, all that kind of stuff, and then they ended up getting kicked all the way back to like the 20 or something, had to kick a field goal and all this kind of stuff. But just about every game, there is at least one taunting penalty where you're like, just last year, that would have been fine. That would have been nothing. Like it's football. It's a game of emotion. I understand you want to keep some emotions in check. And like I said, with people like chasing people, like I get that. But we still got defenses when they intercept the ball or get a fumble running all the way to the other end of the field,
which I hate, by the way, because they
got
stole
people
that from the
circling
Saints.
around end zones and all this kind of stuff. So what is taunting? What isn't taunting? Are you just saying they can't direct it towards somebody, but they can direct it away? Like it's just they're just overcorrecting, and it's a mess right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, man, it's just the owners. It's rich. All right, I'll just say it's rich 70-year-old white men trying to control the game, and they shouldn't be doing this. It's a terrible rule. I think the Giants owner, Mora, somebody came out earlier, like in the off season, was like, yeah, we want them to just play football, all that extra stuff. That extra stuff is, first of all, to play football anyway, you have to be wired differently. So that emotion and that taunting, that's part of the game. That's like, that helps people, that gets people going, trash talking, all of that. Like people are hurting. You're hurting from week to week. Like sometimes you don't even want to be out there, especially if you're bad. So like you gotta let them enjoy the game. If you don't, you're just putting out a bad product, unnecessary penalties. You're slowing the game down. No one wants to see that. I definitely don't want to see that. So yeah, those taunting penalties, it literally made me stop watching some of the games. If my team wasn't in it, I didn't even want to watch. I'm like, all right, they just calling too
I
much
get it
nonsense.
also, because here's two situations that's exactly the same, which makes perfect sense. I don't understand why you're gonna call Tyreek, when everyone knows he's the fastest player in the league. He speeds past a DB, catches a deep ball. He's got 10 yards between him and the DB at this point. He throws up, the piece, the deuce, all that kind of stuff. And he's just doing it as he's running towards the end zone. I don't find that taunting. Like,
At all.
everyone knows you got beat. The DB knows he got beat. Everybody saw it. Like, that's his thing. Now in the Super Bowl, when Whitehead ran up to Tyreek and did it in his face, I completely understand. You were nowhere in the play. Like, no, that had nothing to do with, the incompletion, all that kind of stuff. That I understand. So if people are doing that, and the reason I'm saying is because now if Tyreek does that, he's going to get a taunting call and everything. So I'm like, that's what people would love to see. Kids emulate that. Adults emulate that. Like, don't let people always say we just want to do it so kids know how to play the game. Adults be imitating this stuff just as much as the kids do. So it's just like, it's what people want to see. It's the fun of the game. Like, as long as it's not causing any harm and you're not like deliberately doing it somebody's face, like I don't mind it. If you get beat, they're gonna let you know that you got beat.
Especially like the guy might have been talking trash all game. You finally beat him. Like, now it's time to, pop your shit.
What's that popular college football play? I think it was Texas A&M and Auburn. Like the DB was all up in his face one play, and then the exact next play,
like he scored on him and stuff.
Scored a touchdown and everything. Like, that's what happens if you go on taunt and then you get beat. You got to be able to accept that taunt and right back.
Exactly. So you got to be able to back it up. But now we're gonna switch gears to player of the week. I'll go first for offensive guy. My offensive guy this week is Cooper Kupp. Man, another great game from him. He's been probably the best player in the NFL so far this year, just stats wise. Leading the league in receiving yards, I believe, and touchdowns, maybe catches as well. I didn't look at it, but this week finished 11 targets, 9 catches, 165, 2 touchdowns. I mean, against the Colts, that's a pretty good game. He's my offensive player of the week, and it's off of a great week last week as well.
Yeah, he played well. I'm chalking it up to Derrick Henry because without him, the Titans do not come back and they don't beat the Seahawks.
Mm-hmm.
I talked about him last week. He had a bad game last week against the Cardinals. But he stepped it up this week, had over 150 rushing yards, had a career high 6 catches. If Derrick Henry's catching the ball on you, now granted, it's not like he had 6 catches for like 80 something yards, but still, I think he had like 6 catches for like 50 something yards, which for Derrick Henry is really good. So if he's doing that on you and still gashing you for 150 plus, and of course we had another stiff arm and him running into the end zone and everything. So it's just like, bro, at some point, Derrick Henry's just breaking all the different running back stereotypes, and he's continuing on. He's looking like he's going to be that 2,000-yard back that continues pushing, continues going. So kudos to him.
All right. So who did you have for your defensive player this week?
So my defensive
I know you're
player,
going to steal my answer. I promise you're going to steal my answer. And it's going to make me
my
mad.
defensive player of the week is the New England Patriots defense. I mean, it's too easy. Like, granted, yes, they were going up against the Jets. Yes, they were going up
I want
against
to show
a
you what
rookie
I
quarterback
have
in Wilson.
pulled up. I don't know if you can even see this, but this is the Jets versus the Patriots box score. I knew you were going to steal my
Like,
answer.
all you had to see was, here's the thing. When you are Bill Belichick, you are known, and I guess I could even say the defensive player is Bill Belichick as the coach. But it's like you are considered the defensive guru. Everybody's like, you're the genius, all that kind of stuff. You're going up against a rookie quarterback. You have to go out there and prove it. And he did much more than that. He had his defense ready to play, 4 picks. He had Wilson confused, flustered, just throwing the ball up in places that he shouldn't even be doing. So they went out there and they did their thing. They did what they're supposed to do, and then some. So I'm giving it up to them. Told you I had a curveball for you.
My defensive player of the week was the New England Patriots defense. So I don't have anything to add. But yeah, like you said, man, Bill Belichick he's the rookie quarterback killer. So I just knew he was going to make Wilson struggle and things like that. So yeah, I have nothing else to add. I'm mad because he stole my sauce. I should have went first. I knew that was going to happen. But yeah, New England Patriots defense, defensive player of the week. It really was no other choice, man. You had to give it to the entire defense. They played a great game.
Right.
But yeah, we'll move on. So the games of the week last year, Dre went 3-1. I went 4-0 because I'm just perfect. And we'll see. We'll see where we go. Oh, well, before we do this, any other game or player or anything around the league you want to touch on from this past week?
I mean, we lost.
Yeah,
but it wasn't. So I will pick out some positives. I was happy about our defense.
Mm-hmm.
No defense is going to stop, because granted, even though the Bills had a shutout, their defense didn't technically stop the Dolphins the entire game. Like, the Dolphins got into the red zone, they just turned the ball over. So no defense is going to stop a team 100% every single week, every single drive. But I mean, we played well all the way through at least 2.5 quarters. But we had some big losses. Like, we lost Brandon Graham to a torn Achilles. He's out for the year. Brandon Brooks, who gets hurt every single year, he's now out with like a chest or a pec injury. They're saying it's not season ending, but he'll be out for a few weeks. So it's just another one of those things. And, our offense was up one week and down another week. So we'll have to see what it's like this week coming up. But yeah, it was a tough week to be an Eagles fan.
Tough week to be a Saints fan. We didn't even play. I don't have no positives from our game. Our positive is no one else got hurt from everyone that's already hurt. I do want to give a shout out. The one game I did want to mention, or not game, really player. Teddy Bridgewater with the Broncos. My man's 2-0, starting off the year great. Was in a quarterback battle. Couldn't be more proud of former Saint quarterback who held it down when Drew Brees got hurt that year. He's out there doing his thing in Jacksonville. Hopefully, I think my comeback player of the year, I probably should have went with Teddy, but oh well. I think he's probably going to have that wrapped up after about a couple more weeks if he plays like this. So
I'm about to say, because now, Wentz was doing all right, but now he got both. How you sprain both ankles?
Hey, man, it's Wentz, Carson Wentz. It's
just, I feel the man's cursed. Like,
Yeah, but like Teddy's second in QBR this year, 0 interceptions, 4 touchdowns, almost 600 yards passing. So he's
Undefeated
been doing
team
his
so
thing,
far.
2-0. So he's been doing his thing. I don't know what they got coming up, but he's having a
I
good
think they
season
play the
so far.
Jets actually.
Oh man, 3-0 he is. I meant to say that. Oh, then he got so probably 3-0 for him. So congrats to him, Broncos, because they've been terrible for a little minute. So they need to be good. But yeah, now we'll get back to these the game of the weeks this week. Panthers, Texans. That's Thursday. I think we're gonna be the same on this. Who do you have? I have the Panthers. I
I have
think
Panthers. I
yeah.
would have given the Texans a little bit of hope if Tyrod was playing,
Mm-hmm.
but I think the rookie quarterback's going to be playing, and with the way the Panthers defense has been playing, I'm giving it up to the Panthers.
Yeah, I just think CMC and that defense just gonna be too much for them. I'm actually gonna skip this the Fox game of the week. We'll just move to Packers 49ers. Who do you have in that one?
This is tough.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The 49ers defense did not play 4 quarters of good football week 1, but they showed up this week. And then on the flip side, their offense showed up week 1, but they did not play 4 quarters of good football last week. They lost almost every single running back on their roster. So, and then the Packers, they came back and had, granted it was the Lions, but still,
No, it's the Lions.
they came back and did what they were supposed to do in the second half. It was a close first half. So I don't know. As a toss up, I'll probably say the 49ers just because I trust their defense more than I trust the Packers defense.
Mm-hmm.
And so if they can force, Aaron Rodgers into at least one mistake, then they'll be all right. But because Shanahan, he can throw almost any running back to run his zone. So I think they'll be fine there, but they just got to control the ball, maintain the ball.
For this game, I was definitely up in the air who I was going to pick, but think I'm settling on the Packers to pull this one out. Couple points. I wouldn't be surprised if the 49ers win, though. But I think I'm going to go with the Packers on this one. That'll be our first split game. So maybe you'll, tie it up or take the lead.
You said that was at 49ers, right?
I believe so. I believe that's at 49ers. Let me check. While we
because we know Aaron Rodgers usually plays pissed off when he goes against the 49ers because they didn't draft him. So yes, it really is a toss-up game.
Mm-hmm. That's at the 49ers. So that'll be a home game for them. So yeah, I'm going with Packers. We can go Eagles, Cowboys. I think it's obvious who we're going with here. Maybe you'll pick the Cowboys. I don't know. For me,
we could be 0-15 and I will still pick us to beat the Cowboys.
Let me go first.
Right.
I got the Cowboys in this one. I don't know. I'm just going Cowboys and to troll you, honestly. That's the only reason why. I don't care what.
I'm not just going Eagles just because they're my favorite team. I'm also going Eagles.
Of course not.
I really feel like the the Chargers more lost that game than the Cowboys won that game. Mm-hmm. And then Amari Cooper, he's hurt, and Tony Pollard's just a better running back so far than Zeke Elliott. So, but who knows? Our offense might, because their defense has been great with takeaways, but they've allowed a lot of yards. So as long as we take care of the ball, our offense might shine. So who knows? We might surprise a few people.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked, but I'm just going with Cowboys. In the last game, probably going to be the best game of the year on paper, at least the best game on paper this year so far. The Bucks versus the Rams. I believe the Rams are at home for this. People are saying it's an NFC Championship preview, but that's kind of weird because the Saints are going to be in there. So I don't know how they figured that out. But yeah, the Bucks Rams. That's the Fox game of the week, America's game of the week, whatever the hell it's called. Let me think on this. I'm thinking. I still don't know. I honestly don't know who I'm going to pick here.
So for me, I'm going Rams. The reason I'm going Rams, the Bucks have escaped 2 weeks. And I don't mean escaped as in like they could have lost those games. They could have lost week 1. But it was never in doubt that they were going to win last week. But their defense allowed that Atlanta Falcons offense to look competent. They played well, especially in the first half, like all the way up to halftime. And then I also believe they lost another defensive back. They've got a lot of injuries in that secondary. And when you're going up against the Rams, you got Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, D-Jack, Van Jefferson. It's just a lot. So I think, just on that alone, I'm gonna go Rams, and I'm gonna say probably 27-24 is final score because I mean it's Brady on the other side. He's still gonna do what he needs to do. So, but I'm going Rams.
All right. I think the Bucks are going to win, but I'm going Rams. So I honestly think the Bucks will win this game, but I am picking the Rams for this reason and this reason only. So if the Bucks win this game, I mean Tom Brady's going to be 3-0. He's already got like 9 touchdown passes this year. I mean, he's going to beat the Rams, who Matthew Stafford and him are probably the top guys for MVP right now. Now, if he beats Stafford, week 3, now Tom Brady's number 1 in the MVP talks, and I don't want to hear that shit. So I need the Rams to win. And on top of that, next week, if he beats the Rams, they're 3-0. Everybody's going to talk about that for the whole week. And then he goes to New England the week after. And if he beats them, now the narrative is just building, and you probably won't be able to stop it right there. If he's 4-0 and he leaves New England and like destroys Belichick or something, yeah, I don't want to see that happening. So I need the Rams. I need Aaron Donald to be the best version of Aaron Donald he can be, next Sunday. So I'm definitely going Rams, but I think the Bucks are going to win. But I have to go Rams just because I could never pick Brady anyway. So like it's just not in me. Like not even if money was on the line, I'd probably still pick the other team. But yeah, man, that'll wrap up the picks. I think we got what? 2 games we differing this week. So all right, some changing in the standings, will happen. But yeah, that'll wrap up this week, man. We're gonna actually drop this on a Tuesday. Y'all will see that because today's Tuesday. Y'all will see it, blah, blah, blah. But we'll probably stick with Tuesdays from now on. Maybe not. We'll see. We'll see what this does. But any final thoughts, words, statements?
To be honest, not really. There's a lot of injuries last week, so hopefully, people can stay a little bit more healthy this week because the league and the sport's a whole lot better when stars are playing.
That's a fact. And the Saints, get your shit together because you made me mad this week and I dropped some tears. But yeah, all right. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever you do. The videos right here, right there, the subscribe button. I don't know where they be at. Download links in descriptions, blah, blah, blah. Do. We out.